Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to...
How does it feel, or how has the journey been in the last 30 years? How would you sum it up?
In the last 30 years, my brother, it has been, how do I put it? It's been a blessing, if I'll use one word. It has been a blessing. It started very tough and rough. Then God used what I would call dominion partners, guardian angels, to, in some cases, dismantle some of the obstacles.
Okay.
And everything has been a blessing, let me put it that way, because the route to success is not expected to be very smooth. So in all, it has been fantastic. Yes.
All right. Now, so talking about these guardian angels,
Yeah.
do you mind telling us some of them? Who are some of these people that God used to steady your...
Off the top of my head, in fact, some of these people that God has used to, kind of remove obstacles for me, some of them are ordinary Nigerians. They are not billionaires like you would think, Yeah. So I'll give you like a summary of my story. So I landed in Lagos in 1993 for my National Youth Service. I came into this town with only 750 naira. That was what my father could afford. The day I was leaving Port Harcourt to Lagos. All right, so I landed here, headed straight to the NYSC orientation camp in Iyanobaja, to go and serve my fatherland. At the time that the orientation was concluding, I did not have a place to live in Lagos. I didn't know where I was going to sleep, So one of those Dominion partners, number one, came into the picture. My former roommate in the university, Mr. Chedoziemba. All right. Then he was working with Tia Fatimile and Co. on Allen Avenue. So I went to his place prior to pass out day to say, guy, I'm in town, I'm stranded. If I leave camp, I don't know where to go. He said, okay, just show up here after pass out and we'll go to my place. So that was how I landed my first abode and my first place as a squatter in K2. All right. So from K2, by the time I left K2, the story of K2, that one is plenty. But those years was just phenomenal. And we have remained friends since. But I had to leave. Okay. So I left K2 to Abu Odofi. All right. Where God presented another person again in the name of Mr. Jones Lakemfa. All right, Jones Lakemfa became my squatter in Abu Odofi. All right, and I was with him for a while in Abu Odofi again before I moved again to go and squat with my uncle in Bagada, Shului, Bagada. All right.
What's your uncle's name?
Because of his wickedness, I will not mention his name. Because of the level of wickedness that man put me through, it would have been a good story today to also mention him among the guardian angels. But he was one of those who allowed the devil to try to use him to thwart my progress. So his name will not be mentioned in this story. That was how I left Bagada, again, and proceeded to go and squat in Agege near Pennsylvania. Yeah, where God used another Dominion partner, to finally, elevate me in the name of Chief Ike Eze, who is a brother from my village. Ike was an amazing landlord to me. He was the one who supported me till I got my first one room in the yard in Pangrove. You understand? So Ike was instrumental to that.
He was the one who also sponsored my first movie, that gave me a break, So I guess it changed the trajectory of my career in show business, and God will continue to bless him, So I moved to that my one room in Pangru for public toilet and bathroom, That was where for the first time I learned to be my own landlord, and I was too grateful to God for that space. So from there, growth was gradual. From there, I now moved to a BQ, a 2-bedroom BQ in First Act. I was in First Act till it was in First Act that I proposed to my wife and started planning marriage. But the wedding actually happened in River State. So because both of us grew up in Port Harcourt and we wanted to take our wedding back to where we started. So I calculated my brother person, they move according to his money. You understand? My resources were limited. I calculated the cost of planning a wedding staying in the hotel and planning a wedding. I calculated it. I calculated the cost of renting a flat. It was almost like the same thing to rent a flat. To stay in hotel for 2 weeks was equivalent to just renting a flat at once. So I chose to rent a flat instead of staying in the hotel. And I used the remaining change to buy property to furnish it. So that was how I relocated to Port Harcourt. From planning of wedding. So Port Harcourt was where we conceived our, I think, first and second daughters.